Welcome back, everyone, to Third Street Reactions. I'm Zakk.
I'm Shane.
I'm James.
And we're back again with Castlevania Season 1, Episode 3. Wherever you're from.
Hell yeah.
So, what happened last time?
Me?
Well,
Yeah.
just both of us.
I'm asking in that general direction.
I thought you were talking to him.
Yeah. Well,
We're not going to introduce that guy yet.
Yeah.
No,
Okay,
it's
not
coming
yet.
later. 10,000.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So, we learned about Trevor Belmont. And, I've know enough about Castlevania to know about the Belmonts. But he's a cool dude. He's like a fun, apathetic guy, but he's a warrior. And he's a badass. He stuck up for that old guy when he was going to get unjustly murdered by the church. Yeah.
Still might.
I guess he still could. But the cool thing is, if you want to say Simon Belmont. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Trevor wants the speakers to leave town because he fears for their safety, and he says, and he's telling the old guy, the elder, "I will go get your grandchild, but you guys leave."
Yep.
That's the condition, and it ended right there.
It did.
Yeah,
You summed it up.
pretty much. Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good. Let's go.
Oh, shit.
This is the cathedral catacomb place, right?
In the catacombs. Yeah.
Anybody home? I'm armed. And a lot less happy than you are. You want to stay well out of my way.
I thought something was gonna happen.
Oh, fuck.
Reflex is like a cat.
I always say it to myself. That's kind of funny. Kind of like Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones. He's not infallible. This makes him funny.
The statue of a speaker down here.
Holy shit.
Cyclops. Right out of the family bestiary. God shoots him, I did Come on! You're dead! Someone noticing it.
The fighting animation in this is beautiful.
Oh.
There it is.
Fall on it.
Will you return to normal?
You say?
Oh, my God.
Granddaughter,
Hibernation sickness.
dress the girls like boys.
It's Trevor. Trevor.
Like, oh yeah.
What happened?
Turns you to stone with his eyeball and feeds on your terror while you're trapped in your own body.
Damn.
Did you climb on me?
A bit.
That was rude.
There is no sleeping warrior. Just a cyclops waiting for people stupid enough to go looking. It's a trap for gullible speakers. You're not popular around here.
The old wisdom says the tomb is guarded.
Yeah. Come on. Time to go home. Your people think you're dead. The least you can do is set that old man's mind to rest.
He thinks I'm dead? I'm Saija Velades.
I don't care.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I failed to find the sleeper. I'm sorry.
Probably a booby-trapped legend. There's someone wriggling with pleasure in his coffin right now thinking of people like your girl walking into the Cyclops you left down there. Your Messiah isn't down there. We Belmonts pass things down as well. Do you remember what we saw down there? Descriptions of the inside of Dracula's castle.
Stay with us for as long as you like.
I'll come back later and see if you can find some beer.
I could pee in a bucket and tell him it's beer.
Saifa
Yeah, just he saved your life.
saved your life.
He's rude.
Ungrateful.
The Bishop of Greshit requests your kind attendance at the church.
I don't think I'm allowed into churches.
The Bishop says he'll make an exception in your case. You are obliged to appear when summoned by the church.
Well, shit. If I enter the church and catch fire or something, it's your fault.
I'm here to save Greshit.
How exactly do you intend to help these people? By killing speakers?
The speakers brought these troubles upon themselves. One cannot live without God. Quite literally.
But you were there for the burning of Dracula's wife. I heard all about that.
Oh, yes. I arranged it, in fact. The woman was a witch. And there can be no doubt now. Your life, Belmont. Take it and go. An excommunicant heretic within its walls. You could undo everything by your very presence.
My family committed no crime.
You Belmonts have never understood the power of the word of God. The people of this city are mine and our lords now. To all intents and purposes, I will be the church.
I'd rather be the Senate. Wouldn't you?
Trevor.
By the way, you're all going to die.
What? This feels wrong. To be driven out for a lie that will doom these people.
We had an agreement.
Exactly.
I don't think it's a Belmont thing either.
I don't care. You need to leave and leave now.
I don't think we can leave these people.
What have the church said about the Belmonts? That you have been corrupted by dealings with the supernatural? That you mock God? What did you do in the face of that?
I didn't run away. You're calling me a coward.
No. I am calling you defeated, Trevor Belmont.
It's time for those of us who fight that war to stand up and be responsible, Trevor Belmont.
No. You're leaving. Right now.
Yeah, fucking an agreement. And then they'll leave, and then the church will see that they're still wrong.
Yeah,
I think it'll work out better that way.
Where are the speakers?
I've put them somewhere safe.
I swear it just moved. You defend.
You're not getting the speakers. You're getting no blood today, so shut up.
You will give us the speakers
So that we can save this city.
This city's lost. The family you demonized and excommunicated has fought and died through generations for this country. And it's not the dying that frightens us. It's never having stood up and fought for you. I'm Trevor Belmont, of the House of Belmont. And dying has never frightened me.
Genius.
The axe! He throws it! Ah! Just like Kevin McAllister to this whole town.
Oh.
That's just terrible.
Yeah, it comes.
He did.
Nice.
Oh.
Come through here like Denzel Washington in the Book of Eli.
Here they come.
That was their reaction. This is our response.
That was such an impassioned freaking speech he gave.
It was.
It just gave me just cold chills. It was great.
It was
It's
great.
great to have those moments in film.
Oh, I know.
One thing I want to say real quick. I was reminded of it. Something I was thinking the other day.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone I knew growing up about this a while back. But people tend to... What do you think is a higher medium? Live action, film, or animated?
What's
What
better?
do you just naturally feel is the higher medium? Like when you imagine, say, Lord of the Rings or a book you love being adapted, and what medium do you think will be its highest peak?
For me, it's live action.
I mean, all my favorite things are live action, but I will certainly not dismiss any animated stuff.
Right.
I mean, some of the Dragon Ball Z. I mean, there's incredible things animated.
Well, it's something that this person said to me was that they watched a movie, and I believe it was Akira.
Okay.
And they said that was the first time they realized that great works of art, high works of art, could be achieved in animation, like serious stories.
Yeah.
So it begs the question. You kind of step on animated features. Say, well, I want to see a live action adaptation. And growing up, we did casting calls.
Yeah.
And shit. So why do you think you feel that way?
Who did casting calls?
Shane and I.
You did?
You're thinking, well, we would...
A casting call is like...
Not casting couch, Jamie.
I don't know what that is.
I thought you guys went to, like... You went to try out for parts?
No. Oh. What he's saying is we would sit down in a camper.
And imagine who would be best to play a character.
Who would be good to play Goku?
You'd recreate.
Live action.
Right.
Or
obviously Justin
Snake,
Chapman.
Like fucking Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
I thought you guys actually went to, like, auditions or something.
No.
No, I get what you're saying, Zach. And I tell you what, before we watched, like, Invincible and now, Castlevania, I would have definitely said, like, live action, no doubt about it. And I still believe live action, but for me, since we've started this kind of this journey, it's the gap is closing, and I can see, especially with the animation, I mean, man, the work needed for each little scene of action where, the artist has to draw that out. That's incredible.
The animation studios have a lot of work.
They do. And I would probably say, most of your favorite stuff is live action as well.
A lot of the things I reference are live action, and a lot of my influence has come from live action film.
Right.
But, as an artist, a lot of influence and inspiration comes from animated features.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of I wouldn't even call it 50-50. I think mine's ultimately live action because of how I grew up. I didn't grow up with a lot of exposure to animated films outside of Disney and things like that. Mm-hmm. So as I've gotten older and seen and have been exposed to more animated features and as they've evolved and developed into masterful works of art, I think that gap, I wouldn't say it's closing because I think still they still flock to live action.
Yeah.
Because you have even Marvel, which it doesn't see a lot of great animated features compared to a lot of anime, because the Japanese anime industry they are masters of their craft.
Well, and they create stories over there that adults will go to theaters to see because it's not just for kids over there.
Right.
Yeah, and I was told before that a lot of them, in Japan, in the Japanese market, and these viewers still think that, some of them anyway, think that like Pixar's at the peak of animated storytelling.
I've read that too. Really? They have a great respect for Pixar.
Yeah, and that's cool because the Pixar films are great and they're well made. But I don't think they hold a candle to the maturity and the depth of a lot of anime.
There's definitely some. I agree. There's definitely some very deep, mature anime for sure.
There is.
It's crazy. Yeah,
it's great, and the way they've incorporated music and things into those features.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we've talked about Cowboy Bebop before, and I'm a big Cowboy Bebop fan. I like it a lot. I like Gundam Thunderbolt.
Yeah,
which I prefer the manga.
Yeah,
I definitely think it gets it right. I had that feeling when I read the manga. I watched the show. They change a little bit. They tweak it, but the music and the animation, is great. And you have, like Genro. I've mentioned that before. The Wolf Brigade.
Yeah,
it's a fucking outstanding film.
Okay,
it's interesting to see how people feel about that.
Right.
Because
I've seen people, especially mainstream critics, start to adopt and accept more serious animated storytelling from Japan.
Well, they should. Because those people are
honestly,
but the Japanese anime industry, they're masters.
Like
storytelling.
I think it was. I think actually Cowboy Bebop is one of the things that helped mainstream connect to Japanese culture.
Yeah,
because
there's a lot of American influence in it.
Yeah,
it's a space western.
There definitely is, but I think that was a good connection. I know you haven't seen it. It's very good, and certainly it's very lauded. You know what I mean? I mean, in terms of growing anime in the industry, I mean, Dragon Ball Z and Gundam Wing almost universally accepted as.
Well, they brought it to the American market.
They brought the American market for kids, and now we've grown up, and now we're reviewing shit.
Yeah.
And we like it. You know what I mean?
I will say that watching shows like Castlevania, Invincible, I don't watch it and go, well, I wish this was live action. Like,
No,
I'm
so-
happy as hell it is what it is.
Well, they
You know what I mean?
tried to make Avatar a live action.
A lot of times it doesn't work,
and
right?
it was piss poor.
Yeah, it doesn't work a lot of times.
Yeah.
It was not good.
Yeah.
And I wonder how Metal Gear Solid is going to turn out. That director, people loved Kong Skull Island. I did not.
Yeah.
So, don't know where it's going to go.
What is that hanging up there? Is that a spider right in front of you, Zach?
Yeah, it is.
Like, when I see Japanese anime, normally it's best adapted by a Japanese company as well.
I just haven't. I mean,
Like
when
Rurouni
we're going
Kenshin.
back, like Dragon Ball, that movie. I never watched it, but I heard it was terrible.
It's not good, Zach.
And
Not good. I'll say it right now.
yeah.
It's adapted from. It's Americans made it.
There was
Yeah.
a Korean adaptation of Jinro,
I didn't.
and it was okay.
Yeah.
It was cool to see the armor, the Panzer armor.
Yeah.
But it's just it just didn't have the feel. It didn't have the ambience.
Yeah.
It lacked it.
One thing, Rurouni Kenshin, it was developed. The third movie came out not too long ago. Yeah, and the movie is made by the Japanese, and it's incredible.
Well, like Evangelion, that show is kind of one of the high marks of anime.
Yeah.
They consider it
Okay.
to be kind of a
Good adaptation.
No, I meant just the original anime
Yeah.
is considered to be kind of a high mark for
Yeah.
anime.
Mhm.
And they recently released a film.
The Japanese.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I haven't watched it. I don't have access to it. Wouldn't be able to, even if I wanted. Well, I do want to.
Yeah.
But I can't watch it.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic. Fantastic storytelling. And
Okay.
the director of that is the same director of Shin Godzilla.
Okay.
Which,
did the critics like it?
I haven't read much about it.
Okay.
So the far as Evangelion goes,
Yeah.
that's like a fucking. I don't know. It's like it's like a holy grail.
How do you adapt something that big? It's kind of like Gundam Wing or
Well, I think
Rurouni Kenshin.
I actually think that they did try to adapt it. There was some kind of Evangelion live action feature.
Okay.
I don't know who developed it
Yeah.
and why. And I watched a little bit of it, and it was not good. It was kind of missing.
I know you've heard of it, so yeah.
The depth.
Yeah.
But keep moving on with this show.
I'll tell you what, Death Note, real quick. There's a lot of cool things about that adaptation.
Like, I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen the anime, but I haven't seen
Yeah,
it.
there's. I mean, ultimately, I don't think it was as good, but there's a lot of cool things. Like, what's his name? And
Willem Dafoe?
yeah, he plays.
Yeah, he plays the.
He's so much better than he is in the anime.
Yeah,
It's just like it's such a big story you can't tell in the movie. But like, if they would have made that like a, it's very good. Yeah.
well, Willem Dafoe is just awesome. Have you ever seen the Grand Budapest Hotel?
Yes, by
Man,
Wes
that's
Anderson.
fucking great. I love that movie.
You know, what I like more than that Dog Island. Dog
Island's good too.
I like that so much,
That's
dude.
a great movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know, the Grand Budapest Hotel and Ralph Fiennes and Willem Dafoe's in
The
it.
humor's amazing.
Willem Dafoe is the
Yeah.
hitman.
I've not seen either of those.
Did you?
Jeff Goldblum's in it.
Yes, he is. Then
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Have you seen Moonrise Kingdom?
No.
Have you seen has George Clooney with the foxes?
The Fantastic Mr. Fox
Yeah.
or something like that.
Okay, it's really good. It's a stop motion film.
He also
Oh,
directs.
it's a stop motion?
And it's incredible. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, and it just this director. Every time he makes anything, it's critically acclaimed. And
Joey Blood.
he didn't make
Wasn't
it.
he Anderson, wasn't it?
No, it was Paul Thomas Anderson.
Oh, fucking name mixing up my Andersons.
Yeah, and
His
he's
brother,
and,
Anderson.
and that guy's made everything he's made has been gold too.
Yeah. One thing that did stand out to me, and it did it in this. Have you ever noticed in some cartoons, anime, whichever, animated features, when there's an object that you can tell is going to be used by the character that's going to be light up and
It's called
colored differently?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
actually referred to as a gun on the mantle.
Yeah, well, I don't like it when I see it.
Sometimes people don't notice, but I think when you get older, you.
I've noticed it ever since I was fucking little, and it's Scooby Doo did that to me. And I never liked that fucking show.
You
But
didn't
it would be
like
on
Scooby?
I don't like Scooby Doo at all.
I never watched.
I always thought it was
Really?
stupid.
Even when you were a
Like,
kid?
yeah, because like, this is stupid shit.
Yeah.
They always do the same thing.
They do.
It
It's
was
predictable.
Just,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly never watched this because I
I
didn't
loved
have it out here.
But there again, I watched Transformers. So that was
like that too.
usually
That was cool too.
kind of, I guess I like the mechanizations and shit. But
Yeah.
anyway, I couldn't stand that even when I was little.
But anyways, the gun on the mantle thing.
That's what I'm saying. I couldn't stand it.
What do they do in this episode?
The torch that he grabs when he walks into the catacombs.
Oh yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, the torch was a lot brighter and color, the wood and everything.
Yeah.
I don't know what you mean. I'm thinking
when he first comes into the catacombs and he walks in there and there's torches along the wall and he grabs a torch.
It's like sticking out like a sore thumb.
So before that, you're saying the audience's eye was supposed to be drawn to it.
I'm just saying that you could tell it was colored differently because he was going to grab it.
Honestly, I didn't notice that. I think I was looking at everything else.
I noticed it.
Yeah, I looked at it right away.
Yeah. I mean, well, they do that, so you look at it right away.
Yeah, I'm sure it's intentional. Yeah,
fucking need to. It's a torch. He picks it up. You're gonna know he's going to a torch.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess what I was thinking of is when a character he turns away from the audience and he puts his gun right here on the mantle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my grandfather's gun. And he looks at it and then. The camera's on it for a second. Later on, that gun is used to kill the bad guy who comes in the door.
Well, it's not really that. It's just anything that the characters will use in a scene.
Yeah.
It'll be lit. It'll be colored differently.
Almost honestly enough, it reminds me most of a video game. Like a video game.
Yeah.
So like I said, they've been doing it for years, ever since Scooby-Doo when I was little. All right, so these fuckers have been doing it for a while before they were influenced by video games.
Which the video game kind of annoys me too, though, because it's to me it's is it too easy? I mean, I don't know
though, because I played some Resident Evil games where you don't even see shit there.
I love that.
And you just pick it up randomly.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, why?
Well, you gotta explore, you gotta figure it out.
Those games they're harder.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's just what...
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Japanese, man.
I don't like
Capcom.
Like Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. I think it's the game where you press a button.
But if you
and
can't even see...
shows it, and you're like...
You can't even see what's there. And you're just randomly walking over something and you're just hitting a button and you pick it up.
I agree with you there.
You're talking about video games they've modernized a little bit because that's why video games right now is bigger than the movie industry.
Because
now if you don't have to be a specialist to play a game.
I get it. It makes sense for the industry, but I like more of a pure
I get
game
you.
where it's just more difficult.
You play Breath of the Wild,
right?
Which is like a video game designer's game,
because
Nintendo's never made this crazy good open world game,
right?
And they just did it. And they did it their own way without copying off anyone. They give you this world, and you can look at anything on the map and say, "I can go there right now."
Right.
But the Nintendo does little things to draw you to certain regions, and they do it so well. That's not like a blinking light.
Yes.
It's not a button you press and it lights a path like Tomb Raider, which I really like that game.
I like Tomb Raider. Yeah.
I know it's nothing to do with the show, but Nintendo does it so well in Breath of the Wild.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways.
When he falls through the floor and he says cat-like reflexes, that reminds me of Big Trouble in Little China. Have you ever seen that?
No, but I've heard quite a bit about it.
I haven't seen it.
He says that frequently throughout the film. It's all on the reflexes.
Yeah.
And then, at the end of the movie, this guy tries to throw a knife at him. He fucking catches it.
That's pretty
It's
cool.
all on the reflexes.
It's on the reflexes.
It's like a trucker, but he's like badass.
Yeah.
So.
The other day, I opened my freezer and some frozen thing of foil meat fell. I caught it real quick. I put it on a counter, and the freezer was still open. I saw something else come. I caught it like this.
Whoa.
With my other hand. I turned around, and then my son was looking at me. He went, I was like, reflexes, baby. But what I love about it, honestly, it just reminds me of Indiana Jones, the way that character's written. Like, he's a badass, and he's cool, and he's funny. But he takes a lot of punches, and he messes up. He falls down.
He's a drunkard.
Like, not Indiana.
Oh no, this character.
Well, yeah,
Trevor.
yeah.
Not me either.
Yeah.
No,
but then he says cat-like reflexes that he falls again. It's funny. It's very well. The character's well written.
Yeah,
his lines are fucking. I love his lines and his insults all throughout his quips.
Yeah.
God shits in my dinner once again.
Yes, that was good.
I gotta start using that now.
Yeah, and I just like how he didn't just throw the sword at his eye immediately. Like, it was a hard fight.
It was.
Like,
Stop and realize you're dead.
Yeah.
Man,
go ahead.
So that was intense between him and the bishop in the church. That was intense, man. That was some fire there. And that guy, I presume the bishop is going to be a big part of the series going on, at least for this first season.
Yeah. We know he's tied into the very beginning.
Yeah, well, he said
he's
too.
At fault.
Well, now he's...
And he thinks he's the church. His plan is to become the church.
Well, he has higher ambitions.
My people,
gods.
Yeah. I just meant that he killed fucking Lisa.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So,
one thing he said, he goes, you actually believe it. I wonder if, does he believe everything? Like, does he believe he's up there with God? And
the religious experience. Yeah. He's not just a guy there for power or prestige.
So the religious experience is driving him to do
he's
this.
a fucking crazy man, though. He's a goddamn zealot.
Yeah.
So the one thing I will say about the animation in this series that was jarring to me when I first watched it The animation seems stiff when the characters are just walking around or talking, when they're moving an arm or something.
Yeah.
It always seems kind of stiff, but when it turns into the action sequences, it is fluid, it is beautiful.
It's amazing.
It is sharp.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's quite a dynamic there because sometimes it's kind of like, well, I'm looking at it and see how they're kind of
Right.
I guess, yeah. Like
Static.
I kind of noticed that, but honestly, when they're talking, one thing I noticed is their mouths move so well. I was actually just looking for stop motion, like how you can make someone talk, and there's like a list of like, oh, this is for A's, this is for B's, this is for, and like, you
pronunciation.
You come out, you draw these specific types of mouths.
Right.
And I was looking at it and thinking about what I knew, and I'm always so distracted. And they always do these unsettling things, like usually you want a character when he's shot to be on the third, like he's not in the middle, he's on like the third part of the thing.
Yeah.
But you can break any rule in film if you do it the right way. So they'll put him straight in the center, and they'll kind of zoom in on him slowly, like, and it's like, it's usually like the villain.
It adds to the intensity.
It makes it really intense. Yeah, and it just I like the dialogue and but like you said, that scene with the bishop, the writers do it in a way where like you can feel the history.
Oh yeah.
Like, you can see that Belmont, he's salty as hell, and he thinks these guys are crazy. But he's like, he literally Home Alone the whole fucking town. It was cool. I really like this show.
What did you think of Saifa Belnades?
The chick?
That's her name.
Yeah.
Dude.
No, well, honestly, I think she could be a character I really like. You kind of like a spunky female who can stick up for herself.
Yeah.
At that moment, I thought she was being a little ungrateful.
Yeah.
But she wasn't there for that deal. She is committed to her beliefs. And that guy, Belmont is rude. But we like him because we know him.
Yeah.
And
we enjoy him because he's rude.
At that moment, I thought she was being ungrateful, but she's a character I feel like I can grow to like a lot.
Yeah, I think she's going to turn around.
And I hope she doesn't get killed in the next episode.
More to come from her.
Okay.
I think that if
you're going to keep establishing what you think, James,
well,
you're going to have to make a bet sooner or later.
I think if she sticks around long enough, doesn't get killed, her and Trevor, their relationship will turn some.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm not saying they're going to get romantic or anything like that.
You sure?
I'm sure.
You're wording it so carefully. I'm not saying this, and I'm not saying that. I'm saying it could turn.
I'm just saying.
Like, I don't know how.
What does that mean?
I don't know where.
If she sticks around long enough and doesn't die in the future battle that's probably coming.
You think she'll die?
I don't know, but
well, if you had to,
Trevor. No. I hope not. I'm hoping her and Trevor.
Okay.
Their relationship turns and they'll fight. But I do want to say this, man.
Okay.
Her getting turned to fucking stone. A few reactions ago, I think we talked about like what was like one of the worst ways, like either to die or drowned or fire or something. We talked something similar to that.
I mentioned there's a movie I watched, a Doctor Who thing, where this guy gets turned into stone and his consciousness is in there.
That is fucking terrible. Imagine being turned to stone and being completely conscious. You're just stuck there. That's like hell, right?
The thing just feeds on your terror.
It feeds on your terror. And there's nothing you can do. You just wither away and slowly die.
How would it feed on the fucking guy that had no head, though? How'd that pan out? And how did he even lose his head? Because the beam would just turn him to stone.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't...
Maybe I sapped him for everything and just knocked his head off. But then it was like a clean cut. So
it did look like a clean cut.
Yeah, like a sword. I don't know. That's a good question. Actually, I don't know.
But
minor detail because it just looked cool when it thawed out.
Yeah.
So, this series, though, the animation style does remind me of the manhwa Priest by Min Young.
Yeah.
So it's a very sharp animation style.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I guess I didn't. I mean, I'm thinking of the art, the design of the characters look so much different. But I guess the style is similar.
But the sharpness and the angular style, definitely reminds me of it, and of course the religious aspects.
Yeah. I mean, dude, and some of the coolest stuff is when you incorporate religion. Yeah, I mean, like it seems like especially Catholicism.
I think
there's so much cool imagery.
Strikes home in this country because we have a lot of religious history.
Yeah.
And it just seems to resound in a lot of things. I remember one guy, it was a British writer, talking about the U.S. Civil War and how they had the trend of allowing beards and facial hair for military personnel had started during the Crimean War because it was so fucking cold.
Yeah.
So they started allowing men to grow beards and shit.
Yeah.
And that kind of carried on into the U.S. Civil War.
Okay.
At some point. And so these guys have these big fucking beards and they're fighting men and well, John Keegan is the writer's name. He's a military historian, but he talked about how it was almost fitting for this American Civil War because it's being fought by these people with these big religious ideals.
Yeah.
So I guess it's almost like there's a religious quality to the war.
Okay, yeah.
So
yeah,
it was interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't know. One of the other notes I put down was that I hate smug people.
Smug people?
Smug people. Like these fucking priests that are walking around like, and smacking him and shit. It's like they're smug.
Well,
like when they first surround him and they got their knives on him and like they're sneering at him. Fucking smug people.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would almost take a step further. Like, it was like past smug in his case. It was like...
the guy smacking him?
This blatant arrogance.
Yeah, but I was talking about like these fuckers that had their spears pointed at him when they first captured him.
Oh, yeah.
And like the one guy's like smiling and it's just...
Yeah, that could be an annoying quality for sure. And honestly, he had a lot of restraint. That's one reason I like about him. He's not this butcher. It seems like he doesn't just kill to kill. He tries to defend himself, and he maims people before he deals the killing blow lots of times.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's getting pissed when he's getting slapped around. But he's a lot of character. He's a lot of restraint. Yeah. It's so cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he could kill easily. And that's one of the coolest things when the character can show restraint, even though he's a killer. So yeah,
it adds a lot to the visual element, the spectacle.
It does,
because you know this person could do more, and it adds an intensity to the moment.
It does.
You're just waiting for it.
I love how he gets poured into this shit. He just seems to find shit. I love it.
Shit's in my dad.
I love it.
Yeah. No, I really am really into this show.
Me too.
Yeah. So
it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
And that's it.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you like what we do, you don't have to, but like and subscribe. You'll find us on Instagram and Twitter. And we watch other shows. We do other shit like this. Mm-hmm. We kind of just do the same thing in other places, but in the same place.
Here.